Hey everyone, it's Cygnus and welcome back to another episode of All the Magic Spellbound. Today, we're going to be diving into Create and hopefully actually finishing it. Remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So we've recently been making strides in advancing ourselves through a bunch of mods that we've already started. One of those is going to be Create. And Create is a very useful mod, especially when we get into the late game, and that's what we're going to be getting into. We're going to be getting into the aspects of Create that are not so easy to start with. And among those is we're going to need to start making a funny little thing called blaze cakes. Blaze cakes are fundamental for making a couple items at the end, as in order for us to make a specific item, we need to enhance our blaze guy that's up there. And we do that by feeding this guy a blaze cake. So let's fly up and take a look at him. He's all cooled off right now. We'll give him a little blaze cake later, and that'll warm him right up, and we'll be able to make compounds that are much more useful and hard to get, which we'll then need the beacon for. We'll get into that later, but this section may end up taking multiple parts. So if it comes down to it, this video and the next one may just be entirely centered around finishing up Create. So what do we need to get started first? Well, we're going to want to probably get our engineer's goggles. We've kind of put it off a little bit, but I think it's about time that we do that. So we're going to go in here and we're going to compress some gold, and then we're going to go grab some string, glass, and make the goggles. Will just take us a second. I think we just need to put one, and I don't think it needs anything special. Yeah, it just needs normal glass. Let's get that. Let's head down, make our goggles real fast. And after we make our goggles, we're going to need to be able to procure ourselves some lava. Now, there are two ways we can go about that. Of course, there's the obvious, easy way, where we can just take buckets of lava, fill a large area with it, and drain that slowly. Or we can do the fun way. The fun way is, I'll be completely honest with you, it's a little hectic. And it's, oh, do we not have glass? Oh, there it is. The fun way is hectic, but it's also hands down one of my favorites. So we're gonna take these and we're gonna go ahead and throw these on our face. I think we can put them here. If not, we'll just wear them on our head for a bit. We don't need them right now though. We're just gonna keep them on hand. Now, the fun way is going to involve some fancy little items called ender tanks. Now, ender tanks, not too hard to make, just require stuff we have in abundance, and wool, which we don't have in abundance, but that's fine. But let's go ahead and make ourselves some wool with our string. I think that should be fine, and we can always get more string later. And we already had 11 wool, so that's fine. And we're going to grab our buckets. Actually, we're just going to make a few with our iron. We don't need a lot, so we'll just make 4. And we need to grab our blaze rods, obsidian, and ender pearls. So blaze rods, ender pearls, and of course, obsidian. And that should be everything we need. Oh, right. It's always different colors. So we can go ahead and make 4 of these ender tanks, and we're going to be placing one of these in the nether and one of these in the overworld. Now, these ender tanks are coded, and by that I mean they only connect to an ender tank of a matching color set. And I believe each one of them has a color slot on top, or those 3 little bands that we see around them actually. These versions have 3 little bands that you can dye and change different colors. The different colors, as long as they match to another pump or another ender tank, will transfer the fluid contents of this pump or this tank to another tank of the same matching set. A little confusing. It's pretty simple in practice, but we're just going to be using probably white. I might actually dye them red just so they're distinct and I'm not accidentally making ender tanks that are linked up to random white ones, since those are the defaults. So we'll get ourselves some red dye. And we're also going to need to make ourselves some fluid pipes. Now, fluid pipes require copper sheets. Fortunately, we have an abundance of copper, so making this will not be hard. Let's go ahead and fly up through the roof because I am lazy. And get ourselves... Actually, this might have taken the same amount of time as going up the stairs. And let's get ourselves some copper plates. So we're just gonna chuck about 16 on there, if I can put them on there. Jeez, there we go. Okay, that's gonna smash out. And once we have the copper plates, we can make the fluid pipes, and we're also going to need to make a hose pulley. This thing's pretty easy to make, but the reason we need the hose pulley is we're gonna need a way to get the lava. And you're probably thinking, But Cygnus, where are you gonna get the lava? Well, that's obvious. I'm draining the whole nether. Yep. So the way that these tanks, these pipes and hoses work is they drain in an area around them. And as long as it's submerged in fluid, it's going to keep draining it layer by layer, bringing it down until there is nothing left in the body of water, provided it has somewhere to go. Now that can either be by filling something else with the fluid or by putting it in tanks. And we will actually be using the tanks from Create called fluid tanks. And with the fluid tanks, we'll be filling these up with lava, water, and some other stuff later once we get around to it. But we now have the copper sheets, so now we can go ahead and make the fluid pipes. And we're gonna need a lot of these, but let's go ahead and do 32 that should be fine. And we can make the hose pulley. We just need the shaft, which requires andesite alloy. Forgot to grab that from my chest. Let's run back in. And if I'm going fast, that's because there is a lot. There's a lot for us to do. We do not have time to lollygag or dilly-dally, or we really just have to get going as quickly as we can. So let's get the hose pulley. We have to make the copper casing, which requires wood and stripped bark, I believe, but it may work with just bark. Nope, requires stripped bark. So we're going to strip some bark. Okay, we got that. And now we should be able to make this. We'll need a couple of them. 4 should be fine. Got our hose pulley. I think that's all we'll need. And then we just need, of course, the fluid tanks, which require copper nuggets, which I think we can make just by putting copper in our inventory, grabbing some copper nuggets out. So we'll make the tanks. And oh, it needs the copper casing. Right. 1 second. Oh, there we go. I was just being silly. Okay, we got those. We got one of those. We only need one. And we are going to need more of these tanks, but we don't have enough copper casing, so we're going to make some more. And make a couple more of these tanks too. Just because we're going to need a lot of space to store the lava we're about to fill our base with. Oh, okay. Hate when that happens so much. That's why I don't run around with an axe. You just always end up peeling your house. I don't want my house peeled. So we're going to come in here and we're going to set down a couple things. Let's make sure our inventory's a little cleaned up because it's getting messy. Okay, we're going to set down our spout, fluid tanks, and we're not going to use the hose pulley yet, but we're going to want it. So we have this. We can connect these, and we're going to set down right here an ender tank. And that ender tank we're going to dye. So we should just be able to do that. Just shift and right click and it just automatically does it. And I think we should be able to just connect them like that. So that should be pulling, assuming I've done it right. If not, I'm actually gonna turn it real fast. Okay, we can do that. There we go. And it's going to, yeah, so it's pulling from that. And we'll worry about that in a minute. This is going to be used to fill this with lava. So now we're going to head to the nether, and we're going to start with that. Now, I do need to make sure there's nothing else that I'm missing, so I'll be back in just a second before I go leaping into the nether with not enough stuff. Alright, so I did remember that there is one extra thing that we are going to need, and it's going to be a furnace engine. It's not too difficult to make. We just have to use our mechanical crafting and some brass sheets, sticky piston, and a brass casing. I think we actually have all of those things. If not in abundance, then, well, they're easy enough to make. I'm going to go make the squished brass that we need, because apparently I'm out of brass sheets, but that's okay. We can just put some copper and zinc together and get that fixed right up. So I'll be right back with what we need. Okay, and we have our flattened brass. Now we're going to go downstairs, do some automated crafting, and get this thing made. Not too hard to make, and the reason we need this is because we want an easy way to power our system for pulling lava from the nether. And what better way to do that than with blaze? And blazes are a consistent, reliable fuel source that we can put in a furnace to just constantly have stuff burning and never have to worry about it. So we'll probably set up a little system for it and get that going. So I think we have everything we need except for a piston. Pistons are easy to make. Let's go ahead and get that real fast because I could not be more unprepared, I guess, today. Grab everything we need. Need some redstone. And we can make that piston. Needs to be a sticky piston. That's fine. Sticky pistons are also easy to make because we have slime. Not skeleton spawn eggs. There we go. And we just do that. And then we can go downstairs and we'll have to reorganize the way it's going to combine because it has to combine in a 3x3, but that shouldn't be too difficult. I think it should actually, even as it is now, still just combine everything the way it's supposed to. So let's, so just a circle right there, brass sheets, brass casing, pistons, and brass ingots top and bottom. Okay, so brass ingots, brass sheets, where's our brass casing, and our piston. And we'll need an open hand to trigger it. So I do believe it has to be precise. So we'll go ahead and take everything back down and start removing things to make it exactly the size it's supposed to be. Which is unfortunate, but you know, what can you do? And we need to go grab a gear real quick because that's not long enough. Let's see, we should have nice big gear right there. And we'll just do a quick little finagling. Yeah, we can probably pull this one down and have it a large gear, preferably not up there, right there. That can then go like that. And then we just need the chest to be moved over just a teensy bit. And there we go. And now we should be able to do what we need. Hopefully, we did it right. I'm really hoping we did, but I'm not leaving out the possibility that I've completely confused this. And there we go. It just needed to be all condensed down so it can then combine. It's going to do its little thing, and there we go. It's now in the chest. That's our furnace engine. We're going to need to be making a couple of these because these are just insanely efficient. And we're going to go ahead and take this with us. Oh, hey, some coal. Grab that later. And I think, I want to say that's pretty much everything that we need. We have the blaze. Yeah, I think this is fine. So we're going to come out here and we will need to have the chunk loaded pretty much all the time. And unfortunately, that means it's not, unfortunately, we can't make that one of our spawn chunks. So we are actually, you know what? I'm going to go back through and I'm going to go over to our nether portal where it's going to be a lot easier for me to drain lava. I said nether portal, I meant our nether fortress. Right over here. Cost us a bit of experience, but nothing major. Just the cost of transferring between dimensions automatically. Now we are going to get down there and start picking up some lava. Zoop down. Gonna try and get as close to the lava surface as we can without falling in. I think this'll do. That was dangerous. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, we'll just clear out a nice little spot. This should be fine. Nothing should come and get us. Yeah, we should be pretty safe here. So, we're going to set up a simple furnace engine, and we're going to clear inventory a bit of stuff we don't need. Now, we should just be able to set the chest. The furnace engine should go like that on top. And then it's going to output. I might have actually needed to make a flywheel. Yup, I needed a flywheel. Okay. Almost. I'll be right back with a flywheel. Alright, so we have the flywheel now, and I'm just expanding this little platform out so it's not so hazardous. I may be fireproof, but it's only technically for 30 seconds. So if I fall in and I can't climb out, I'm stuck. Now, in order to use this, we have to attach the flywheel. This is pretty easy to do. There we go. And then, this is where the fun comes in. We're going to start attaching the pumps. Now, I'll probably later on, or rather the hose pulley. So later on, I will be attaching to this some form of rotational accelerator, just to make things go a little quicker. But I believe this is pretty much all we need to get it started. Let me just double check. Yeah, so it takes in kinetic input and rotates out, and let me double check. Yeah. And on the opposite side, it pulls out to a pipe. So we'll have this come out, not like that. Don't mind him, he's just floating about. And it's actually going to deposit into this. And this may look familiar because we're going to dye it red. And there we go. Now we just need to clear the spot under it and put something for the furnace to burn. Now it's going to output into here, and we'll worry about keeping this thing stocked up later. Not a huge concern just at the moment. So we'll do that. And we're going to grab a stack of logs because making charcoal is fun. And that should get it started. And as soon as it burns its first thing, it's going to start spinning this up. And that hose pulley is going to drop down and start pulling out the lava that we need. And it will deposit it down over this way. We do gotta make sure though that this is in deposit mode. I think we do that just by right-clicking? Oh, we can make it transparent though. Ah. Okay, so those will start doing their thing. And yeah, this is not rotating. I wonder why. Okay, so got it figured out. Took a bit longer than planned. No problem though. Now let's get our netherrack, expand this out a little teensy bit because this is precarious again. And we'll just get this pipe going down into the ender tank that it needs to go into. And then if we open this up, it should go down and just start draining. And we'll actually, we can't do that. Okay, we'll see it fill up. It's fine. Okay, let's grab our pick wherever we put that and crack it open. There we go. Now it's gonna start draining. It's gonna go all the way down. And it's gonna start pulling. Okay, we've got a simple system going right now that is slowly moving the lava from over here into here. And I will, in between episodes, set up the ender tank to always be pulling, and we'll go and check on that in the next episode. But that's gonna be it for this episode, and I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, please remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see more. In the next episode, we're pretty much just gonna be continuing with Create. There's a few more steps we need to do, and some extra things we need to prepare so we can be ready to move on with this whole process. But all of that's for the next episode, and until then, bye-bye.